Hello. I am going to try and film this in the gap in which the leaf blower outside is not blowing leaves. Happy 2022. I have set up shop in the lounge today because I have one final day off work before going back to work, and Ben does not, so I'm in the lounge. Oh my god, I usually film in the office. I'm gonna try and not look over here, but there's like a huge window here, and that's where like people walk past, so I'm like very conscious that people are gonna walk past and see me doing this, just noting out my anxieties so that you can be there with me. Okay, so today I wanted to talk about a few books I have on my own TBR that I would quite like to get to this year. This is not a TBR video, this is a selection of books I would quite like to choose and read this year, maybe, but there's absolutely no pressure. I had a look through my shelves, I picked the ones that I keep gravitating towards but haven't read yet, and I'm gonna show you them. So the first two I actually got for Christmas. The first one is 77 by Guillermo Saccomanno. This is a translation from the Spanish, and that was translated by Andrea G. Lebinga. So this I got for Christmas from my family's Secret Santa. They did very well. So this is set in Buenos Aires in 1977, and it says here, in the darkest days of the Videla dictatorship, Gomez, a gay high school literature teacher, tries to keep a low profile as one by one his friends and students begin to disappear. Very intrigued. I want to read more translations this year, and I've never read a book set in Argentina, so I'll be very intrigued to read this. I feel like it's going to have some really interesting commentary. And it says at the bottom it's told mostly in flashbacks 30 years later, which is also very intriguing. So that is the first one. And then the second book that I also got for Christmas from Secret Santa, there was another one actually, but these are the two that I'm just showing today. You didn't need to know that. Is Santa... Oh, how do you say that? I'm not really sure how to say the name of this book. Satantango? Satantango? There is some devil stuff in here, so it could be Satantango. But okay, anyway, by László Krasznahorkai. Apologies if I've said that incorrectly. They are a Hungarian author. This is translated from the Hungarian. This sounds so interesting. I really love dystopian books, and I've never heard of this one before, but it sounds really interesting. So I'll read you the beginning part of the blurb. It says, in the darkening embers of a communist utopia, life in a Hungarian town has come to a virtual standstill. Flies buzz, spiders weave, water drips, and animals root desultorily, I don't know how to say the word, in the barnyard of a collective farm. But when the charismatic Irimias, long thought dead, returns to the commune, the villagers fall under his spell. Is he a prophet, a secret agent, or the devil himself? I would both not usually have picked up, but also definitely would do gravitate towards. So riddle me that, but like really intrigued to get to this one this year. I'd quite like to read some more dystopian this year, so yeah, that sounds really interesting. The next book I've got was a gift from Lois from Loach-chan Reads, the absolute beauty that she is. And this is An Ordinary Wonder by Buki Pappilon. She read this last year and really liked it, and she kindly sent it to me as a Christmas/birthday present. So I'm really excited. Hardback, so exciting. This one is set in Nigeria, and we follow an intersex teenager, I believe. Is it a teenager? I think it's like a coming of age story, and it says here that it explores complex desires as well as challenges of family, identity, gender and culture, and what it means to feel whole. All themes I really enjoy reading in books. I love a contemporary. Also, they're a twin, which I don't read too much about, which I'm kind of intrigued by, and I feel like that's going to be really play into the identity aspects of it. And I've never read a book that follows an intersex main character, and I'd really like to broaden the types of queer books that I'm reading this year. So yeah, An Ordinary Wonder, really excited to get to this one. Thanks again, Lois, you are a gem. Okay, the next book the next book is very chunky. It is Plain Bad Heroines by Emily M. Danforth. This is actually Ben's book. They bought it from not Gay's the word, that was so automatic, Quillet, which is in Manchester. It's not as big as it looks, it's like 600 pages. I think it just looks so chunky because hardback. I mean, 600 pages is a long book, but the blurb of this just super intrigues me. So Emily M. Danforth wrote The Miseducation of Cameron Post, which I really enjoyed. In the early 1900s, Brookhant students Flo and Clara fell madly in love, brought together by their obsession for a scandalous memoir. A few months later, they were found dead in the woods after a horrific wasp attack, the book lying next to their intertwined bodies. 3 more grisly deaths followed before the school was forced to close. Now the school's doors are open once more, but as the crew of glamorous young actresses assemble to start filming, past and present begin to blur. There was someone walking past. And soon it's impossible to tell quite where the curse ends and Hollywood begins. Oh my god, it sounds so good. I didn't actually know what it was about for a really long time, and then I was just browsing the other day, saw it, looked at it and was like, wow, and now I can't stop thinking about it. So this might have to be a sooner rather than later read for me, because I really want to know what is going on. Okay, the next one is my next chunkiest book. There's basically 2 chunky books I want to read this year. That seems doable, right? Just 2 chunky books. Although this one seems less doable, it's so long. This is Ducks Newburyport by Lucy Ellmann. This comes in, I think it's like 1,000 pages. Yes, it's over 1,000 pages with like the, oh my god, what? What is this? What is that? A glossary of terms and acronyms? Oh my god. Yeah, so this is Ducks Newburyport. I got this for Christmas a few years ago from my mum, and I've been scared ever since to pick it up, even though it's really intriguing. So this kind of describes it as a scorching indictment of America's barbarity, past and present, and a lament for the way we are sleepwalking into the environmental disaster. And so we kind of follow this one housewife, I think it's like stream of consciousness. She's kind of just like thinking about everything. Pretty sure this is what's also terrifying about this book. There's no punctuation. 1,000 pages, no punctuation. Like, I'm scared. I think there's commas, there are, but I don't think there are full stops. That really scares me. I don't understand when I'm meant to stop reading if there aren't full stops. I don't even have to end on a chapter break, of which pretty sure there are no chapters either. Very much stream of consciousness, character, you're in the head. I don't know, I think I want to give it a go. I think that's the way to approach this book. Just give it a go and you can put it down. I'm talking about myself. You can put it down if it's scaring you too much. I've got to broach the scare at some point. Okay, the next book I have that I would quite like to get to in 2022 is a newer addition to my collection. This is Permafrost by Eva Baltasar. So this was translated from the Catalan by Julia Sanchez. I found this in a charity shop for £1 and I read the back and I was like, absolutely sold. So the first line of the blurb that sold me: Permafrost's no bullshit lesbian narrator is an uninhibited lover and a wickedly funny observer of modern life. Yes, please. It's quite short as well. It's not that long. Wow, it's actually way shorter than I thought it was. There's a lot of extra bits. Wow, it's like 120 pages-ish, 129. So that's definitely doable, obviously. Yeah, it just sounds like something I've never really read before. Like, I don't really read narrators that are witty, like, you know, that are sold as witty. They're usually kind of like going through trauma, or like are teenagers that are coming of age, young adult, or that sort of thing. I'm intrigued for that one. Okay, the next book is also a book of Ben's, but it is Concrete Rose by Angie Thomas. I just don't know why I haven't read this yet. Like, I've read both of Angie Thomas's other books. I've read The Hate You Give, On the Come Up. Wait, yeah, both. That is Angie Thomas's books. I just haven't read Concrete Rose yet, and I was really excited when it came out, and then I just haven't picked it up. And so we follow Maverick Carter in this one, and it's set 17 years before The Hate You Give, basically. It's sold on the back here as a searing exploration of black manhood, and I'm just really intrigued. I love Angie Thomas's writing. I don't know why I've not picked it up yet. This is more one, why haven't I picked this up? Jazz picked this up this year. The next book I have is Never Let Me Go by Kazuo Ishiguro. This is just like to go along with my I want to read more dystopians this year. This is a very classic dystopian, and I really don't know why I've not got to it yet. I've not read a Kazuo Ishiguro book. I know that recently they published Clara and the Sun, which I'd seen around a lot, but I wanted to read this backlist title first. Kazuo Ishiguro imagines the lives of a group of students growing up in a darkly skewed version of contemporary England. Narrated by Kathy, now 31, Never Let Me Go hauntingly dramatises her attempts to come to terms with her childhood at the seemingly idyllic Hailsham School. Darkly skewed version of contemporary England is what sold me. Okay, the next book is Trick Mirror by Gia Tolentino. I keep gravitating towards it, I keep not reading it. This is a memoir, so this is non-fiction. It says Reflections on Self-Delusion. It's like a collection of essays by Gia Tolentino that kind of talk about the era of the self, like the internet. It says here, in these 9 interlinked essays, Gia Tolentino explores her own coming of age in this warped and confusing landscape. I want to read it. I feel like it's going to have really interesting commentary on the self, the internet, and how those two merge. I'm intrigued. Okay, we've got 3 books left. The back stack is not relevant for today. That is another video. Don't look too closely. The next book is Just a Movie by Earl Lovelace. This is one I also picked up in a charity shop, but a few years ago now, and I just haven't got to it. This one I looked up on Goodreads and saw that the reviews weren't actually too great, and it scared me, but I need to stop doing that. I need to give books a chance instead of judging it, because it wasn't even like my friends' reviews, it was just strangers' reviews. Why am I putting their reviews ahead of like just giving it a go? Anyway, so I'd like to give it a go this year. This is set in Trinidad. It seems to be a novel sort of about ordinary life, but with a bit of like spark, if you know what I mean. So a little brief blurb. In Trinidad, the 1970 Black Power rebellion is over, its leaders rounded up. Sonny Boy, desperate to be recognised as one of them, forces the uninterested police to arrest him. King Carla, a singer, returns from detention and is sidelined in the Calypso tent, his music dated and unfashionable. They now hope to make their name in the movie that is being shot on the island, but that too does not end as expected. Still in search of recognition, Sonny Boy goes back to his hometown of Cascadu, and so we follow him and the townsfolk through their experiments in music, politics, religion and love. Really interesting, and I feel like that's going to be really interesting in terms of reading the setting and the political historical context of that book, of which I don't really know that much about, so I feel like that's going to be really interesting when I do read it, to be researching around that as well, to kind of give me a more thorough understanding of the context. But yeah, really want to get to this one this year, and also as a note to stop not reading books just because of strangers' bad reviews on the internet. Yikes. The next one is The Walking by Laleh Khadivi. This one was gifted to me by my good friend Sophia a really long time ago. Like years ago, and I need to read it. Also, it's really wide, this book. I don't know why. So this is set in Iran in 1979. It says, the mullahs have come to power and they want everyone to know. 2 young Kurdish brothers, Saladin and Ali, are forced to swear their loyalty to the new regime by taking part in a massacre. In the traumatic aftermath of the killing, they flee. And so it follows these 2 brothers, and one of them is really excited to go west and leave, and the other one really is not, and their heart is rooted in their hometown in the mountains of Iran. And so I think it's going to really explore that kind of conflict of leaving and not wanting to leave, and that kind of disparity between brothers. So like talking a lot about family, culture, and yeah, I'm really intrigued to get to this one. I've now, by talking about it, has made me really want to read it. The very last book that I am hoping I get to read this year is, The Travelling Cat Chronicles by Hiro Arikawa. This is one I got for Christmas in 2019, and I've not read it yet. And I don't know why, because I've heard really good things. I like that there's a cat, it's set in Japan, and it says here, it's not the journey that counts, but who is at your side. Sounds really wholesome, but also I think it's really sad at the same time, quite emotional. And it says it's set against the backdrop of Japan's changing seasons and narrated with a rare gentleness and striking humour. Maybe this is my year for reading like witty narrators. Don't know. We follow Nana, who's on a road trip, but it says he is not sure where to. All that matters is that he can sit beside his beloved Satoru in the front of his silver van. Satoru is keen to visit 3 old friends from his youth, though Nana doesn't know why and Satoru won't say. Yeah, really, really intrigued. Really want to get to this one this year, and I'm going to. And those are some of the books that I would like to read in 2022. That is not a TBR, once again. It is not a TBR. I'm like having too much fun in this chair. I forgot how fun it is to film in a spinny chair. Yeah, this is not a TBR, but it is a stack of books that have been intriguing me over the past year, and a few obviously that I haven't had for that long but have instantly intrigued me. And I'd quite like to read them. Have you read any of these? Please let me know. Please give me some thoughts below if you have, especially if anyone has read this dauntingly scary book. Scary but exciting. Maybe that should be a whole video in itself if I actually manage to read it. But yeah, that is everything. I don't know what I'm doing right now. Thank you so much for watching. What is a book that you would quite like to get to this year? Let me know. If you got to this far in the video, please leave me, pick a shape, Jazz, just pick a shape. Please leave me a star emoji, just so that I know that you're here. And I will see you in a new video. Bye. Bye.